Hi, I'm Greg Krupp, and this is my game Crowkeeper. It's a take-that hand management game for 3 to 6 players. Play times are roughly around a half hour, 30 minutes. It's a heavy player interaction game, so it's great for people who love to play the players as much as play the game. It's also the sort of game where there's usually a big moment or two that people like to talk about afterwards, reiterate it. So it's great for players that like that sort of a game. In this game, rival crowkeepers compete by playing cards to grow their murder, gain wealth, attack their opponents, and defend themselves. However, each player starts with a hand of 0 cards, and they must attain their cards from the game board in full view of their opponents. In this way, everyone theoretically has complete knowledge of each other's hands, and they must manage their cards accordingly. Each player starts with a murder of 15 crows and a stash of 15 bits. The action cards are arranged in rows corresponding to specific decks. The top row draws from the offensive deck, which focuses on killing opponents' crows. The second row draws from the defensive deck, which allows players to negate the actions of their opponents. The third row draws from the wealth deck, which helps players gain money, referred to as bits. The bottom row draws from the growth deck, which focuses on adding crows directly to a player's murder. Players roll dice in order to gain these cards from the board. A player's turn consists of 3 different actions. They must roll 1 of 2 dice. They may play cards from their hand, and they may buy crows from the supply. Players have a choice of rolling the 20-sided white die or the 6-sided red die. Players may roll the white die for free and take the card in the corresponding number space, referring to the black numbers on the board. Note that each multiple of 5 is wild for that specific row. On the other hand, a player may choose to pay 2 bits to the bank in order to roll the red die for a specific row of the game board, referring to the red numbers in each space. In this way, a crowkeeper can hone in on a specific tactic by rolling for specific rows. Players may play 1 card for free on their turn. They may also pay 4 bits for each additional card they would like to play. Most cards are temporary, and they're discarded after they're played. However, some cards are permanent. They have a crown in the bottom left, and they stay in front of a player, giving them a special ability. For instance, take this raid card. I can choose a player. Whenever their crows die, I kill half that many from any other player. So I can play this raid on my friend Sean. So whenever I attack him, I can kill half that many crows from someone else at the table. Offensive, wealth, and growth cards must be played on a player's own turn. However, defensive cards can be played at any time. For instance, this migrate card allows me to switch the position of any 2 cards in the same row. So say on his turn, my friend Sean rolls a 17. And there's a very good card in that spot. I can play this migrate and switch that card in 17 with a card in 16, 18, or 19, so that he gets a worse card. However, I can play this migrate on my own turn. So say now I roll a 17. I can switch it with the card in 18 to get that very good card. Last but not least, on a player's turn, they can buy crows from the supply for 2 bits apiece. When the supply is empty at the end of any player's turn, the game is over and the crowkeeper with the most crows wins. I've shown Crowkeeper at local game stores in Hudson Valley, New York, and at the 2019 Granite Games Summit in Nashua, New Hampshire. My goal is to build up a bigger following and launch a Kickstarter campaign within the next year. So overall, Crowkeeper has been easy to teach to casual gamers, but at the same time I've found that more hardcore gamers are still engaged because there's a bunch of different card interactions that make it interesting. Like a lot of times it plays like a trading card game, but it's more accessible because all the cards start in this visual supply, which is also good for teaching. So like if somebody has a question about the game, they can ask before they get it from the board, so they don't have to reveal their hand in order to learn how all the cards work. Thank you for watching this video, and I really appreciate you considering Crowkeeper. I hope you've enjoyed this introduction to the game, but more so, I hope you enjoy playing it someday. Thank you.